Coming up on today's Locked On Senators, it's official. 4 different groups have bid on the Ottawa Senators with the upward margin to $1 billion.
And speaking of negotiating, Ross, Alex DeBrincat will be trying to negotiate his new contract as a restricted free agent this summer. How much should he get paid?
And how much is too much? We'll discuss that. And the East and Western Conference finals are set. Let's discuss. And if you want to go to one of those games, check out Game Time. Today's episode is brought to you by the Game Time app. Create an account, download the app as well, and use code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll get $20 off your first ticket purchase. That's the Game Time app, Locked On NHL, for $20 off your first ticket purchase. This is the Locked On Senators podcast. It's your team every day.
Your Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I'm Jake Sanderson, and you're listening to Locked On Senators podcast.
I'm Tim Stützle, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
Welcome inside episode 799 of the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm Ross Levitan on the outskirts of enemy territory in Winnipeg, Manitoba, alongside Brandon Piller up in the Blue Mountains. Please like and subscribe wherever you download your podcast. We're also available on YouTube, where you can leave a comment below today's comment. Out of the 4 bidding groups, who do you want to own the Ottawa Senators? Today is Tuesday, May 16th, and Pilsy, we know who the parties are. We know what the top bid is, $1 billion. Imagine telling someone after the Ubergate video, after a 10-game losing streak in 2018, that the Sens would sell for approximately $1 billion.
It's absolute madness. All those people commenting, poverty franchise, the Sens. Nobody cares about the Sens. Yeah, what do you think about that now? I mean, the public interest is huge. The dollar interest is approaching $1 billion, with one of the bids reportedly being $1 billion. There's 4 teams left, Ross, or 4 bidding teams, I should say. It all starts now, and this could be resolved, I think, either within a couple days if the one bid is just so strong, or we might be waiting a little while longer. But at least the bids are in. Like it's like the draft. The pick is in. Now you just gotta wait. You gotta wait, and then we're gonna find out. So it's gonna be very interesting moving forward here.
I'll go a little more Ottawa than that. I'll say we're at the Casino Lac Lemy. No more bets. No more bids, right? Everything's down. It's laid in, and then each of these groups had to put down $50 million as kind of a deposit that they'll get back if they aren't the preferred bidder. However, if they become the preferred bidder and then are unable to close a deal, they lose $50 million. So there is some serious coin on the table, and it will be extremely curious to see who the bank and the Melnyk sisters choose to run the team. Now, the Melnyk sisters recently decided they're keeping 10%. So good on them. Keep the family legacy alive. But on that note, we should say all 4 of these groups are an enormous step up from what the Senators have had over the last 15. Hey, even Rod Bryden wasn't necessarily the best owner in pro sports. This will be the best owners the Sens have ever had. I think it's fair to say that.
I mean, it's seeming that way, and I'm positive about all 4 groups, Ross, but I'll just say as a disclaimer, you don't know till things get going. But yes, I do think this is a great situation for the Ottawa Senators to be in. And with the way sports team ownership is going these days, Ross, I think it is much better to have kind of partners and groups together, just because the dollar amounts are astronomical these days. Like, it's so hard to have one person owning all the shares and percentages of a sports team these days. It just doesn't really happen. So we're moving towards this kind of modern age type of team ownership, and all 4 of these groups have put a lot of time and money and research and energy and stress and planning into what they're going to do. And it's going to come to a boiling point here very soon.
It certainly will. Now, when will we find the winner? Not sure. Bruce Garriock doesn't think it's going to be this week, but he does have sources are telling you who the bidders are. And like you said, there's partners in each of these, but we're only naming the head of each group. And that doesn't mean the financial head. It just means who's the front-facing figure right now with each group. Now, Toronto Steve, I need to pronounce this properly.
There we go.
Potential future owner, Steve Apostolopolous.
Woo!
Net worth $3.9 billion.
These.
He made a bid for $6 billion on the Washington Commanders. Now, with the Washington Commanders, they sold for $6.05 billion. So he just missed out on that. And now he's interested in owning the Ottawa Senators. Kind of a late addition a little bit through the entire process, but we've heard his name associated a little while back. Michael Andlauer, he's partnered with a bunch of the local investors. Think Farm Boy, think other places like that.
Yep.
He's right now a minority owner of the Habs, but he does have a deal in place reportedly with Andre Desmier of Power Corp, who at one point wanted to own the Sens. I guess he's content with just having a little nibble of any NHL team. So he's Michael Andlauer is in the mix. Now, Jeffrey and Michael Kimmel are former minority owners of the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're very wealthy, I think would be a nice way to put it. And then Neko Sparks' LA-based group, where I think they're based all over the place. I mean, even James Neal, Trevor Daley, Matthias Nordstrom are kind of hockey guys in the mix there. They got British money with the Rubin family as well. And reports are they made the highest bid in the first round of the negotiation. So that means that 3 bidders from the last round said thanks, but no thanks, including Graham Rouston. Should we play some sad music right now that Graham Rouston did not make a final bid on the Ottawa Senators? No, I don't think we should. No, we're good. We're good. We'll leave and let live. But beyond that, obviously the Remington group we knew wasn't likely going to make a bid. And then the other kind of mysterious avenue here was Kings owner Vivek. I don't know his last name.
Sacramento Kings owner, just for clarity's sake. Yeah.
Because, I mean, he didn't make a bid. He no longer matters.
Yeah.
So that was the other of the 7 initial bids, and it's down to 4. So we've already gone from like the semifinals to the finals in a way. So think about like that, where 3 have been chopped off. But Pillsy, do you have a favorite right now?
I mean, I guess my favorite, Ross, would be Michael Andlauer, and this is just going off the information that all of us have that we're following along with Bruce and Ian Mendez and other sources. It just seems, Ross, that he has experience owning hockey teams like you mentioned. Minority owner of the Habs. He owns the Hamilton Bulldogs. He seems like he's a hockey guy. Bruce Garriock's article mentions he's a beer league goalie. # goalie friendly show. We could get him on the show.
Yeah. He's attendee?
He's attendee. So I just think from that sense, it would be nice to have someone steering the ship that has already dealt with this, right? I mean, the Kimels were minority owners of the Pens and were rumored to try to become majority owners, but ultimately the team was sold to Fenway Sports. So at least there's some familiarity there, but I think having local investors is important too, Ross. We've mentioned throughout the whole process that we want whoever owns the Ottawa Senators to own the Ottawa Senators, not just an NHL team. So I think they would do a really good job of capturing that local flavor that needs to be supported and boosted to really help a community feel like this is their team. So I would say as of now, my favorite would be the Andlauer group.
So Galatioto Sports Partners, not Galactic Sports, although I still think that's a catchier name.
And I think I said Galatio, so I was also not right on that one.
We will figure it out one day, Pilsy, I promise. However, it is interesting to note that Front Office Sports, AJ Perez, put out this article yesterday saying that four bidders are in the mix. Yeah, we know that. But apparently one of them will have to do some rejigging to make all of this work numbers-wise. So that, to me, is extremely issues. This is the exact quote. one of the bids could have issues that needs to be addressed before it moves forward. So that's a nice little wrench here, a little intrigue that we'll leave you with, because ownership talk is not our favorite. It's important, and we'll touch on it. It is the lead story. There's no question. But I want to know what the heck this team's going to do on the ice to make the playoffs next year, Pillsy. And a huge question mark right now is Alex DeBrincat. Is it long-term? Is it short-term? Is it a trade? And what is the cap hit going to be? We're going to discuss a question I asked on Twitter at Sens Central. What is the highest cap hit you're willing to go with Alex DeBrincat to make sure that you can ice a competitive roster with a new bottom six, hopefully, some pieces, another goalie, and maybe more? That's all coming up next. You're listening to Locked On Senators.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. It's the presenting sponsor for this show, and for a good reason. If you need tickets, and I didn't say sports tickets, I mean tickets of any kind, you gotta go to Game Time. You can get tickets for all your favorite sporting events, all your favorite music events, all your favorite comedy events, or even theater if that's what you're into, because anything can be found last minute on Game Time. They're the best for last minute planning. You don't need to plan months in advance. You can get exclusive flash deals on all your favorite entertainment events. The Game Time guarantee means you'll get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, guess what? Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And you get images of your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds. Just 2 taps, 1, 2, boom, and they're on your phone. No need to dust off the printer. No need to find your old email password. None of that. It's all simple. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Today's episode is also brought to you by a local Ottawa company with a Sens fan at the head of it. It is Owl & Co. Now, what is Owl & Co? It's perfect grooming products for you. Owl & Co wants to make your grooming routine something you look forward to every day. Say hello to Owl & Co. Whether you're a guy looking to finally take care of your beard or a woman who's looking to add more nourishment to your hair, they have products for everyone. The starting lineup includes hair tonic, sea salt sprays, and utility bombs. It's versatility at its finest. All the products are made with natural ingredients like coconut oil, sweet almond oil that ensure your skin is getting the nourishment that it needs. All the products are made by hand in small batches. You know they're going to be the highest standard. They don't cut corners at Owl & Co. Carefully chosen ingredients will make your skin feel so smooth and smell great. So go outside your comfort zone and start with these products every morning. You'll see that creating a grooming routine does not have to suck, and in no time it can become a part of the day that you look forward to. Owl & Co is having all about helping you find your grooming routine free from complications. Go to their website, owlandcogrooming.com, and follow them on Instagram, Owl & Co Grooming. Because you're a Locked On Senators fan, we have a discount code for you. It's Senators15. It will save you $15 off, 15% off your next order. That's 15% off with Senators15. We know you're going to love it. We can't wait for you to try it out. It's owlandcogrooming.com. All right, Pilsy. I should note, Owl & Co Grooming, new merch alert. Hot
New merch.
Alert. Jay Dean helped him out there, and it is ridiculous. I can't wait. I got my order in for a sweater, so we're fired up for Owl & Co. We are working our way to the NASCAR jacket, Pillsy. I got my athletic greens right here. We'll talk about them soon, but right now, I'm needing as much nutrients as I can to friggin' get my head past what needs to happen with Alex DeBrincat, because it's not simple.
No, it really isn't simple.
Anything but. This guy's AAV last year was $6.4 million. I think it's fair to say he's due a modest raise from that. Is that a fair thing to say?
Absolutely, yeah. Yes.
But because of the way his last deal was structured, that $9 million qualifying offer just changes the entire landscape of how that negotiation could go.
I feel like, though, Ross, maybe we need to look at it a little bit differently. I feel like that only comes into effect if they decide to go the qualifying offer route, which very well could be the case. I think the way the Sens salary cap structure is, and they can say, hey, look, Brady Tkachuk's making, a little over 8.2.
Correct.
Timmy's making a little over 8.3. We have you slotted right along with those guys. Like, you can't be commanding much more than those guys, if even more than those guys. And I think coming off a down season for Alex DeBrincat standards, and if you're talking about a $9 million player, the Sens do have a bit of leverage here, especially since he is an RFA. So I think the $9 million scary number only comes into factor if you're looking at the qualifying offer. Like, I don't think DeBrincat and his camp can be like, well, our qualifying offer is $9 million, so we're looking at a 3-year deal at $9 million per. I don't know if that's going to fly, or if that's how that can necessarily shake out.
Would you be comfortable having Alex DeBrincat on a 1-year deal next year?
Yes.
Really?
If that's what you got to do to get it done. Because right now, Ross, the Ottawa Senators need to take advantage of some entry-level deals, particularly the Jake Sanderson one. That's honestly the biggest one, because he's going to get paid right off the bat. And in my eyes, they're going to have some entry-level contracts fill out that bottom 6, and you need to take advantage of that, because all these guys are going to graduate and are getting paid. They've already missed the windows on Brady Tkachuk's ELCs, Timmy's ELCs, Shane Pinto's ELCs. Like, those windows are gone. I think even if it's a short-term thing, Ross, you try to keep Alex DeBrincat here and you try to make a push, because the Ottawa Senators were very close. And you got to consider Claude Giroux, Jacob Chychrun. They've only got 2 years left on their deal, which is nice. But I would say your window to push to go all in, Ross, is next year and the year after that. So if it means only having Alex DeBrincat for 1 year, that's what you got to do.
I think if he tells you the 1-year deal is the way he wants to go, you have to get on the phone and try to get a goalie. You have to try to get a goalie. And there's one guaranteed big name goalie out on the market, and it wouldn't make sense with a DeBrincat trade, because Winnipeg wouldn't want DeBrincat on a 1-year deal either. But Connor Hellebuyck, obviously the crown jewel. I'd be calling Nashville. I know that Ottawa's made deals with Nashville in the past, and you look at that as a situation where they have a goalie waiting in the wings in Yaroslav Askarov. They spent a top, 11 pick on him. I think he went 11th in 2020, maybe 12th. And you look at UC Saros and you say, hey, do you guys think you're going to be competitive next year? They just missed the playoffs this year and traded away a bunch of guys for draft picks. If they want to do a real retool, well, if DeBrincat's willing to be there long term, I mean, I think you could probably get the skeleton of a trade, but without getting into the details of kind of who you'd go after or this or that, because I think we could do a full episode rather than a segment on that, and we might have to when we find his future wants and desires, because it does come down to that when you're a year away from unrestricted free agency and you have a young kid and you can guarantee your family $9 million over the next 1 year. Like, I think from a business perspective, he should probably take that qualifying offer no matter what, and then just negotiate a new contract on top of that, right?
Yeah. Now, he has 2 weeks to accept the qualifying offer once it's laid out, so that's important to note as well. But if you're Alex DeBrincat, and I've mentioned this lots of times, I think the last thing you want is a long-term deal. You're coming off a down year for his standards. The cap is only going up marginally. Like, Elliot Friedman is reporting that it's only going to go up $1 million, which is like almost nothing really in the grand scheme of things. And I believe there's a new TV deal that's supposed to get done soon. And when that gets done, I think the whole landscape of the NHL cap is going to change. So I think players that are in their mid-20s are going to be doing little short-term deals here to wait for that landscape shift. And then they're going to try to lock in a big deal once there's more pieces of the pie to be spread out with a bigger cap. So I think it makes sense for DeBrincat and the Ottawa Senators to say, hey, let's just get something that's going to work short term, and we'll go from there. But do I love the idea of the qualifying offer? No. You asked me if I'd be comfortable, but I don't love it, because then what happens next year, trade deadline, if you're not really sure where you are, then you got a huge decision to make. Do we keep him and ride him out and possibly lose him for nothing? Or do we trade him now and go with that and only get a rental return package in place of him? So I honestly, Ross, I don't know where this is going to go. All I know is I don't think it makes sense for either side to make a deal more than 3 years. Even 3 years, I would say, is quite a bit. Like I wouldn't be surprised if something gets done in a 2-year term so that Alex DeBrincat can go to free agency and the Senators have an option to run it back 1 more year and then get some assets back if things don't go the way they thought they would, which obviously we don't want that to happen.
You have to get assets back. You can't give up a first, second, and third and then just put your hands up and say, hey, just let them go. No,
especially when that first was a 7th overall. Yeah.
Especially when you have an opportunity here, if you're going to the draft where you don't have any picks, you probably want a pick attached to this deal as well. So lots of intrigue coming up. We had over 150 replies just throwing out numbers anywhere from, nah, not worth it, didn't enjoy his year in Ottawa, just move on either way, to other people saying pay him up to $9.5 million per year, saying that he's going. We're waiting right now because we want to see if any of these RFAs sign first, but there's not a whole lot of cap going around. We will do an episode before the draft, before free agency, about how the cap is looking for this team. And if DeBrincat signs at X amount of dollars, how many are left for everyone else? That's all. That'll come up later. Maybe in a week or two's time here on Locked On Senators. But we have playoff hockey. The conference finals are set, and we will break it all down next on Locked On Senators.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Athletic Greens. Ross is drinking his Athletic Greens. He got his package in the mail just last night. And Ross, why don't you tell the people what you got in that little care package there and how you were able to snag such a good deal?
The deal is so good. The deal is easy to get to. You just use athleticgreens.com/NHL network. I'm pulling up, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see kind of the whole shebang, what it comes with. It comes with the I got 2 orders, got the wife in on it as well. So we've got 2 bags of the actual scoop. You take 1 scoop and it has over 75 nutrients in it, ready for you. It also comes with 5 free travel packs because I listen to Locked On Senators.
Yep.
And also a year's worth of supply of vitamin D3 and K2. Also comes with that snazzy box. You take out your Athletic Greens powder, you put it in the box or in the container there, we'll call it, the cylinder, and we'll put that in the fridge. 1 scoop, bang, into that, shake it up, and away it goes. It's so easy to use, and you're really putting great stuff in your body. I was reading the ingredients list, and it is delicious as well. That's solid. Just put it in 10 ounces of water. It helps my gut health, my nervous system, my immune system, my energy, my focus, my aging, all of that. It's lifestyle friendly as well. Contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no MGOs, no nasty chemicals, nothing. So reclaim your health just like I did and arm your immune system with a convenient daily nutrition. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you that free 1 supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. Go to athleticgreens.com/NHL network. Again, athleticgreens/NHL network to take ownership over your health and make sure you pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance with Athletic Greens. All right, Pillsy. Thank God that second round's over. Get the Leafs out of here. Oilers are dead. And we have the most southern Final Four of all time. Like, is Vegas the most northern team left? It's
Carolina.
Vegas. Is Vegas?
No, Carolina. This is testing our American geography, but I'm quite sure Raleigh, Carolina is much more north than Vegas. Actually, I'm very sure.
You think it's much more?
Okay, maybe not much more, but it's more north than Vegas. I know that.
Okay. So in the West, we have Vegas and Dallas. In the East, we have Carolina and Florida as well, which is interesting. Man, don't give me that. I think Vegas might be higher.
Really?
I mean,
oh, here we go.
we got the map here. Like that is
damn, that's close.
that is as close as you can get here.
Okay, so much more north is very wrong. Wow, that's close.
Hey, both of them are more north than Miami. We'll say that.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Which of these two series are you most looking forward to?
Honestly, probably the West. I think there's two kind of heavier hitters over there. If you would have told me these would be the final four at the start of the playoffs, Ross, I wouldn't have believed you. I don't even know if I would pick three of these four teams to be in the final mix. Like, this is the most random assortment of teams left, and I'm trying to stay stoked about it. But the thing is, these teams have shown that it's not all about the star power. It's about depth and structure and system and good coaching. That's what's gotten all these teams here. Like, you look at the coaches that have left here, like Rod Brind'Amour, obviously incredible coach. Pete DeBoer, Ross, he's now 7-0 in game sevens in his career. Isn't that absolutely insane?
I think he's made the conference finals with 4 different teams.
He has, yeah, definitely. San Jose, Vegas, now Dallas, and what's the third one I'm missing? New Jersey? New Jersey, yeah. So, yeah, he's a good coach. And then on the other side, you've got Paul Maurice, who's one of my favorite coaches. He is awesome. And then I already mentioned Rod Brind'Amour. And in Vegas, Bruce Cassidy. So,
Rod Brind'Amour was the captain for Paul Maurice in the early 2000s.
Yeah, true. Wow, that's crazy when you run it back like that. Damn.
Yeah. So in the East, I think it's going to be speed. I mean, Carolina brings that themselves. And with Florida, I mean, they're probably going to try to mix it up a little bit more, but that's going to be a great series. And out West, I think Dallas is who I'm putting my hat on. I'm a big fan of Dane Lewis from Locked On Stars. I think he was boots on the ground yesterday in the media gondola there, and the vibe's great at the rink down there. And Evgeny Dadonov playing like a man possessed as well.
My guy.
Sens abroad. So nobody can hate on that Dadonov's stint in Ottawa. That it was 5-1 game was worth the entirety of it. So it will be great hockey. I know some fans in Canada especially are kind of like, what the hell? What are we doing here? Like, I mean, can we get a team in the conference finals? Can we at least have like a northern team in there? Everyone's so far away, but I'll say I'm happy that it wasn't Seattle. I think an all expansion conference final would be a little bit, it would be pretty sad for the other GM.
I was hoping for it, Ross. Not gonna lie, I was hoping for it. Have you looked at the odds for Stanley Cup favorites?
Should we do that with our friends over at FanDuel?
I've got it here. I wanna quiz you, but you can pull it up for everyone as well.
Do it first. And while you're at FanDuel, come ride with me. The Denver Nuggets. Let's go.
All right, we're hopping on the Nugs. All right, I like it.
I hopped on I'm responsibly all out.
All out.
But I put a future on the Nuggets to win the West at plus 450 before the playoffs.
Solid.
And the championship at plus 900. So
okay.
Let's go. I'm living and dying with the Nuggets.
Your future? Nice. Who do you think the favorite is to win the cup before you pull it up? This shocked me.
Dallas.
Nope.
Vegas.
No.
Carolina?
Carolina is the favorite at plus 200 on FanDuel. I was not expecting that. That's for sure. Are we gonna do? Let's do series predictions as well here. You got yours locked and loaded.
I don't know if I've learned my lesson yet.
Dude.
Should I bet against Carolina every series until they win the cup?
Yeah, true. You have been doing that.
I bet against them twice, and they've just dominated. Florida in 6.
Ooh, okay. I'm going Carolina in 7. And then I'm going to go... this Western one, I really don't know. I don't know, but Dallas, when their stars are clicking, you can't beat them. But Ottinger and Robinson have had some shaky performances, but then Rupe Hintz has picked them up, and then you got Heiskanen in there. I'm going to go Dallas in 7. So Carolina in 7, Dallas in 7.
I'll take Dallas in 6, although I've seen firsthand this postseason twice how dominant Vegas is. They have contributions on all 4 lines. They probably have the deepest decor left. All 6 guys on
Carolina.
Vegas. I'd still probably take Vegas. Vegas has
it's close though. Yeah.
I think Vegas has a little bit more meat and potatoes on the third pair with like Nick Hague. You saw him fight Darnell Nurse, right? Like they have. I don't know if Carolina can match that. Can they?
No, probably not. I mean, Brett Pesce is. I wouldn't say he's not like an enforcer, but he's a really good shutdown guy.
Right. I think they have more shutdown guys, more like crisp passers.
And like Jacob Slavin's one of the best defensemen.
Jalen Chatfield's a tough defenseman. Like he'll lay the body down, and Brent Burns, we know how solid he is. They've got just a few nasty puck movers too. Goss Spare, Brady Shea as well. Yeah, like they're loaded. There's no question. But if you're putting them side by side, like Theodore Petrangelo, Hague, White Cloud,
Martinez,
Martinez, and we're missing a big namer here. I need to find this out.
Did you say Petrangelo already?
Petrangelo, I did on the top pair. I actually missed probably their worst defenseman. Their only liability back there, Braden McNabb.
No, okay, yeah,
it's okay, but a bit of a liability. But if we're a goalie friendly show, rank the goalies remaining.
I mean, Ottinger's got to be number 1, even though he's had some shaky performances. In Carolina, I mean, who?
What about goalie Bob?
Yeah, Sergei Bobrovsky has looked a lot better. Okay, I'll put him number 2, actually. I'll put him number 2. I feel like he deserves that. And then Carolina and Vegas, I don't know who's going to be starting those games and where to rank them. But Aiden Hill is a guy I do like a lot. I was hoping, Ross, when he went to San Jose, that the Sens would have taken a look at him there.
Yeah, interesting that they didn't. And obviously, Laurent Brossoit is out with injury, so we'll see if and when he's able to come back. Jonathan Quick just sitting on the bench, a 2-time Stanley Cup champion, but of course, just given away in that Korpisalo trade to LA, and then finds his way to Vegas at the other end of that. So, predictions: you're taking the Dallas Stars in 7 or 6?
7, and Hurricanes in 7.
So you're going all 7s are crazy.
7s, let's go.
All right, there you go. And I got 666, where I've got the the Florida Panthers. I'm betting against Carolina again. I'm so dumb.
I'm going to go. I've got a future on the Stars. I put a future on them before the playoffs, Ross. So I'm riding Stars to the Cup, even though the inner child in me hates that, because as you guys know, I was a Dominic Hasek fan. That's how I started watching hockey. My first hockey experience was the 99 playoffs. And yes, Brett Hull's foot was in the crease. That goal should not have counted. Dominic Hasek should have got the cup that year. So there's a bit of hard feelings for me there, but I got to follow my future money just like you with the Nuggets. So Dallas Stars are my Stanley Cup champion pick.
All right, Pilsy, final thoughts on today's show.
Final thoughts are, although it's the off season, this is a crazy time for the Ottawa Senators. The ownership bid's happening. Alex DeBrincat. Are they going to get a goalie who's going to fill out the bottom 6? And Ross, we are going to start our draft coverage soon. So I'm excited about that too, as it's a little different covering the Ottawa Senators draft this year from our angle, but we do love the draft, and I'm excited to learn about some of these young guns.
Final thoughts for me. I have 2 actually. One of them, shout out our boy, friend of the show, Joey Decord.
Nice.
He made 60 saves last night in a triple overtime win in the 3rd round of the playoffs in the AHL. He gave up 2 first period goals and then didn't allow any for the final 96 minutes of the game. He stopped in the first overtime, Pilsy. 19 saves in the first overtime. They were coming fast and furious. Our boy Joey Dax kicking them out. And then my second final thought is shout out Patty Brown. UFA has gone over to join Team USA with Tyler Clevin as well. I'm not sure if Patrick Brown will be back, but he will come back from the World Championships, but back with the Ottawa Senators. But good for him getting to go over there and play in a best on best tournament.
Yeah.
All right, for tomorrow, we will have, either tomorrow or Thursday. We're going to do the interview tomorrow. Might have a Sens Central citizen. If we do, we'll have a citizen tomorrow. If not, Belleville Sens head coach David Bell will join the show. We'll talk Igor Sokolov, Roby Arventi. What happened behind the scenes when he took over? What was it that he used as motivation to push his guys forward, and what is he excited about for next year? All those answers will be coming tomorrow with David Bell. But for today, we say goodbye. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.